Railjet, one engine always spools up quicker than the other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the thrust at 40% on the N1. I'm going to let them stabilize. Once they stabilize, now I'm going to add toward takeoff power. And as I'm doing that, I'm going to click the toga button. And now I'm just thinking, okay, where I'm at on takeoff roll, all right? I'm below 80 knots. I'm just thinking below 80 knots, what am I going to do if I reject below 80 knots? Okay, so right now I'm a low speed reject if I have to do it. I have to use the brakes if I have to do it. So I'm just running through that in my mind. Above 80 knots, it's only for an engine fire. Fire warning, engine failure, predictive wind shear. We deem the aircraft's not capable of flying. Above 80 knots, my auto brakes are going to work. This is a really high speed at this point.
V1. Rotate.
Okay, I want to rotate 2 to 3 degrees per second. This is a really nose-heavy airplane. Rotate to about 15 degrees nose high. Climbing away, going to call positive rate, landing gear up. Assuming that's the G.
Yep.
Now I'm just going to chase that little dot in the HUD. Is this your trim?
I hope so.
I also want to trim the plane to fly hands off. So right now my hand's off the yoke. You can see how it's mating that nicely.
At
So
what point do you move the flaps in?
when I get to 1,000 feet, and I forgot to set 1,000 feet, and I forgot to set that too. So I forgot to set in the EFIS 1,000 feet, but once I get 1,000 feet above the ground, I'm going to say set speed. So what the FO is going to do is he's going to pop open this window, and he's going to set 210. I'm going to say flaps 1, climb thrust. And just to make this easier, I'm going to turn on autopilot A. I normally don't turn on autopilot A this early, but just to make it easier. So what I usually do, John, is I forgot to do it this time. In the EFIS right down here, I'm going to set 1,000 feet above the airport. Draws a nice little green line on your altitude tape. So when I'm below that, I stay dirty. Once I get above that green line, which is 1,000 feet above it, then I can start cleaning up. So right now I'm above my flaps 1 min maneuver speed. I can raise the flaps. Right, so flaps are coming up. As the flaps come up, something I'm going to do is...
What's amazing is you're going to be doing this in the real world today.
Yeah, later tonight.
Later tonight. That is crazy awesome.
So I'm going to turn this off, and I'm just going to take a quick look at the pressurization panel.
Where should it be at this point?
At this point, I'm just making sure to see this big needle.
Yeah.
This is your pressure differential.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure this big needle's not reading 0.
Okay.
As long as it's not reading 0, let's pressurize it.
Looks like it's moving. Yep.
Okay. I mean, 0's way up here. It's going to be straight up and down.
Okay.
So we're pressurizing nicely. So how do I get that cool scene?
Hit J. Just for and every you can change the times for the different scene sequences, but this every 10 seconds this will switch to a different look and feel, and it'll even do a flyby. It's really good for cruise. Nice clouds.
Dang it. I have to spend money and get version 5 now.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I do.
Do you think it looks different?
Yeah, it does. Looks a lot different.
How so? Like,
I'm using just the Orbix, so I just think this looks a little better than the Orbix.
Well, I think Orbix is going to be the same.
Is it?
Yeah.
So normally I usually hand fly up to about 3,000.
You get more frames. You get more frames with V5 for sure because it's DX12.
See, I need to go direct to a point, don't I? So I need to go direct to somewhere. Like, power 10.
You can go Gitlin.
Just confirm direct Gitlin, right?
Direct Gitlin.
There we go. Execute that. Big thing I want to do is make sure I'm in LNAV, VNAV path. Don't make the mistake, guys, of looking up here. Okay, you could have LNAV selected here, but the plane may not be flying in LNAV. You need to get in the habit of looking here. This is what you're telling the plane you want it to do. This is what the plane says it's really doing. So, kind of a rookie mistake. And actually, at this point, we're above. I can speed intervene and go to 250. Actually, I go higher than that. The other thing I could have done, John, and I missed it because I did it. So you got something double keyed here.
What are you hitting? When it
Fly real quick. What am I hitting is I'm trying to select the
Your autopilot's on. You're okay.
FMC.
You're just hitting. Are you hitting 2?
Oh, the autopilot is off.
Oh, it's on.
I was hitting 5.
Oh, it's off. Yeah, it'll work up there.
There we go.
There you go.
I was trying to hit 1 right here to get back to the FMC.
Okay, hit 5 right now. Hit 4. Hit 1. Oh yeah, it's double mapped. So hit and you're hitting 1 with that, huh?
Yep, that's okay. We'll just do
It
this.
was working before.
So what I could have done, I didn't do it earlier, was, so you can see right now we're still in a reduced climb. So if I'm going to go to full climb once I'm above 5,000 feet AGL, I can just delete this. Now it's going to go to full climb power.
Let me see something here.
Zircus.pro, I'm still using version 4.5 in P3D, but I spent a lot of money on it, so.
Hit 1. That's definitely. Oh yeah, it's turning off the autopilot. I don't know how that happened.
Probably
So,
something I did.
I don't know how you remapped 1 though in the sim. That's weird. So I'm gonna remap this to 0 for now.
All right.
Okay, so let's see. 0. Use 0. Don't use 1 for now.
Okay.
I don't know why.
By any chance, is anybody up in VATSIM?
No, unfortunately not.
All right, so at this point,
Thank you.
we talked to several controllers in passing 10,000 feet. One of the things I would have done passing 10 is I would have turned off these switches right here. We check the pressurization, make sure that it's pressurizing, then make sure the APU's off. I'd also ding the flight attendants passing 10,000. And then now we're above 18, so we're going to set 2992. Set it here. All I have to do is hit the standard button. Set it right here. Nice thing about the sim is that it automatically sets for in the sim. In the real world, we've got to set it. And make sure that the FO is set it as well. And so everything looking at +6 degrees. I got clouds. So I need to think engine anti-icing. Let's just go ahead and turn that on. So we use engine anti-icing. We're going to go left continuous on the igniters. Turn the igniters back on. I'm going to turn on the wing anti-ice. So one of the things that I really annoyed John with is if you notice, they have modeled that these switches are all white, but this one is silver. So what these things are is this is a rubber cap that goes over this switch. And John asked me at one point, passing 18, I'd also turn these lights off. FO would turn this light off. So John was asking, is this like this in all the planes? And I said, no, you may find planes that has this switch with that thing missing, this one. So anytime I find an airplane that has one of those caps missing on a different switch, he gets a text pest message showing him that it could be any one of these things. One of the bad things about making friends with off-schedule descent is kind of like making friends with that nerdy kid at school that nobody wants to sit with at lunch. Once you sit with them once at lunch, then they follow you the rest of the time.
I got a mouthful of lunch. I actually follow you around. I don't know if you've noticed, but I make you think that it's the other way around.
So anyways. So climate, just anytime, again, there's visible moisture, which clouds is a player for. In Power 10, flight level 230, any chance for higher?
Power 10, climb maintain 360.
Flight level 360, power 10. So in the real world, when you change the altitude like that, what's going to happen is this thing's going to drop to altitude hold. This is going to drop to altitude hold, and you got to reselect what you have. All right, so what's going to happen when I set a new altitude like 360, I'm going to point to it. I'm going to say 360, and then the FO is going to confirm it and say 360. I think I forgot to do is take this to off. So at this point, things start slowing down a little bit. This is a really short flight. So in the real world, we'd be pulling up the ATIS at this point for Phoenix. We'd also be running landing data.
You're still in Utah, and you're going to pull up the ATIS for Phoenix
This is
at
less,
this point,
yeah.
like at 23,000 feet?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just in case there's something weird. If there's something weird going on at the airport, right now I'm planning on going runway 8. If they did a runway change to the 26s and 27s, I want to know that now. So we can prepare for it. It's called being proactive, and you don't want to get behind flying.
Would you redo the flight plan if the ATIS was showing a runway change, or would you
Absolutely.
just leave it as is?
You mean redo the flight plan with the center, or?
Meaning that you've set up for runway 8 in your FMS, and you pull up the ATIS, and they changed it. You actually would go change it
in the FMS?
The FMS?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
So the dispatch is not trying to predict runways that are going to be in use.
Once we're airborne and on our way, if weather really nice like this, dispatch isn't going to be watching us real closely.
Do you put in the ILS though actually ahead, like in Salt Lake? You put the ILS in at Phoenix, or do some people wait until they get assigned a certain?
No, most guys will
approach?
put it in. Most guys will. They're going to do it early.
Okay.
You want to try to get his head as much as possible, and get it set early now. And then if it changes later, that's fine. But if it doesn't change, you're all set up for it. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to get in a situation later where you put this stuff off, and then God forbid you have a malfunction, and now you've got to work an abnormal checklist and redo all this other stuff. You want to focus on the abnormal checklist and not just the having to reprogram up. The reason I'm going to run landing data early is I want to see if there's a problem. I want to see, are we going to get good landing data with this? If not, let's find out why now. I got time right now to fix it. I don't want to sit there and be in a base to final and find out that my landing data is not going to work.
Makes sense.
So if there's going to be any problems, I want to try to get ahead of the game as early as possible. All right, so Phoenix, thank you, John Fly, for sending that. Oh, you got somebody with your same name watching. I'm just kidding. All right, so wind's 110 at 7, so we'll still be landing 10 miles. Is few at 10, few at 12. Temperature is about 84, 2998. They got smoke. Yeah, 8 miles with smoke, or 10 miles with smoke. So that's a pretty decent ATIS. So usually a flight that's this short, 1 hour and 11, we're busy. We're busy the whole time. There's really not a whole lot of conversation going on. If the flight gets to be more than like an hour and a half to 2 hours, then you got a time to sit and chat with the other guy next to you. And you get really good at small chat in this job, because usually you're flying with somebody you've never met before. And you tend to have the same conversations over and over and over and over and over again with different people every week. Any cool hobbies? Got any houses, boats, planes? What was that? What's the question? This is so the question I can use to tell what wife the guy's on if he's been divorced, and I ask if he has any planes, boats, or second houses in Costa Rica. And depending on how the guy answers that question, I can tell you what wife he's on. It's always the guys that say they don't have a whole lot of hobbies and stuff. They're still married to their first wife.
All right, I'm going to take over the main chair here and give you the back chair here for just a little bit of the cruise.
All right.
Yeah, you can take off the headset.
Oh, your wife fixed that. So is this pour moi?
And the other thing is,
Is this yours, mine?
Yeah, that's mine. I'm going to get you a drink. You want
I'm
water,
good. I'm good.
Coke, milk?
This looks awesome.
I can get you water.
Yeah, I'm good. Is this a cheesesteak?
It's like a Philly type cheese. Test 1, 2. Hope you guys have been enjoying this. I certainly have. I think you are.
Where are all the subscribes?
There's a ton that came through. You missed them all.
Is this for me?
Huh? You want to wear this?
No, is this for me? Oh, wait.
You got a fresh one. Did you knock it down?
I can see it. I probably did.
Maybe you already used it.
I didn't touch that. No. I think this is yours because there's one over there. Or am I eating your lunch?
No, I already ate.
This is the fresh one.
Yeah.
Is this what you were hoping for?
Yeah. Stuff. Okay, test 1, 2.
wonder you can't hear. Volume's way down. Test one. Oh yeah. You couldn't hear yourself just because of the slider. Captain's just having a little bit of lunch. I'm going to hit the georeferencing here. So we're just over Delta, Utah.
Now, the nice thing about this flight is you get over the Grand Canyon, too.
Yeah, we are going to be flying over the Grand Canyon. That's after Bryce Canyon, so yeah.
Yeah, just before you get to the top of descent, you fly the Grand Canyon. I did this flight 3 times last month. Your wife makes a killer cheesesteak.
Pretty good, isn't it?
I live in Philly, too. That's a compliment.
Right girl brought us down Philly cheesesteaks and salads. She's awesome. That's why there's a right girl emote, right? Oh yeah, did I have a typo? Off skid decent.
That is a typo.
Off skid decent. That's actually not. That's a accidental name. That's kind of cool. Actually, I'll change it here. That's funny. Off skid decent. Yeah, he's decent. Okay, that should be corrected now. Thank you, Zirkus. There must be something mapped to number 1 now. I'm trying to figure out what that would be. Maybe it's the numlock was off. Yeah. Now I'm going to turn down the sim volume on the noise canceling headphones. Test 1, 2. It plays on so many levels. Yeah. There's the right girl emote.
Yeah, that's a good cheesesteak.
Oops. I hit 1 accidentally again. Dang it. I gotta remember to throw it. It's funny, this microphone's freaking food like a normal drone fly stream.
Mike. Try real hard not to.
Oh. What's that? Yeah, yeah. This one or upstairs, either one. I don't care. This one might be prettier than because it's a guy resting his head. And you just put it over there. Don't forget your pad. Then over here, just beware of that light because I've been known to knock that over. What is... Oh man, I did it again. I might go in there and change that now. So if I go into settings, controls, and then I go to assign something and I hit the 1, it'll say end is currently assigned to elevator trim up. So now I'm going to go type in elevator trim up. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to delete the assignment that says end. Oh, there we go. So now I should be able to hit the 1. Yeah, so now I'm going to reprogram chase plane. Yeah, looks good. Home and end for the elevator trim. That's a holdover from the early MSFS days. Yeah, and I guess if you have your num lock off when you do all your chase plane views, if you have the num lock off, makes a difference. So, but it's all working now. Top of descent. 201 miles. Man, this is a long haul. I'll be right back. No. Got 200 miles to top of.
All right, back in the seat.
Yeah.
Turn that just a little bit. All right, back in the seat.
Test 1, 2. We're back.
So 200 miles from top of descent. Things I'm thinking about at this point. Just gonna kick up.
Oh, I fixed it.
Cool. So I usually keep this page up. I usually keep the cruise page up. And there's two things to look at. I look at the progress page. Things I want to do is I want to pay attention to the temperature outside. This is a 41, minus 41 or warmer. I need to be worried about anti-icing cruise. Minus 48, we don't have to worry about it. It's too cold for pretty much water to form. The other thing I'm watching is I'm watching my fuel right here, my landing fuel. Again, I said I don't want to land with less than, for planning purpose in the FMC, I don't want to land less than 5. In the real world, I don't want to land with less than 6. On a short flight like this, I will consider going less than 6. Short flight, nice weather. I will consider getting down to 5.
Now sometimes airlines will, because of fuel prices, they'll switch things up, won't they?
It'll switch to the cost index.
No. I'm talking about when they want to carry extra fuel because it's cheaper at one airport versus the other.
It's called tanker and gas. Give me it for a second so I can cough. I got acid reflux real bad. So every time I eat, it bugs me. So yeah, a lot of times they'll tanker gas. So like usually anytime you go into Chicago, gas prices there are really high. And what they'll do is they'll put extra gas on because they don't want to pay the high prices at wherever you're going. So Chicago's a great example because they tax a lot out of there. And so they look at the cost of paying the fuel at the higher prices, or is it cheaper just to carry the extra gas and burn more? And that's the decision made way above my pay grade. It's just, it's on our flight plan.
Sometimes you're a little heavier and sometimes you're a little lighter based on that circumstance.
I can show you where you can see that.
Hey, Torbinator 97 in the chat.
Hey, Torbinator, how you doing? See
you, Toad, McNinja.
Now, the company wants me to land less than that. No, 6,000 is my personal number. I will go less than that. Like I said, 6 is a number I like to have just because if there's a problem. Hey, X-Ray 19 Alpha.
There's Air. Hello, Air.
I hope you guys don't mind me saying this. I got to meet X-Ray 19 Alpha in person last month.
He's a validated real human.
He's a real human. He's got a pretty cool job, too.
Let's see. Either John or off-skid descent, but do you think the Cytec comm panel is really useful when flying on any network? Absolutely. I really dislike changing frequencies in the sim with the mouse, and the plane could be bouncing around. I hate that. I can just reach over, dial the knob like you would in the real plane.
That's what an FO is for.
The Cytec, yeah, well, he's the flap operator, right?
Actually, it's not the FO. That's what the pilot monitoring is for.
Yeah, so whoever's on the comms is doing the radio, right? But I love, coming over here to this panel and just going, 127, 124, 12415, whatever, boom. And then, boom, it's done. I don't have to mess around with the sim. 2 will get you down to the pedestal, but anyway. But yeah, I love that Cytec comm panel. Unfortunately, right now, because of the new sim's popularity, the price is like tripled on that accessory.
I don't have room in my desk for any of this stuff. I don't have the... You guys haven't seen John's setup here. It's pretty amazing. I have about this much desk space in my desk, John. And I have space beneath.
You can move in with me.
So do you still have that flight plan we had earlier? The dispatch release?
Yeah. Let's pull that up here.
So where you'd see if you were tankering fuel. And tankering fuel is where you're carrying gas where you don't plan on seeing it. Just pull it so everybody can see it. So this is an example of one. See right here, this number, tanker. So if you're...
Let me see that. Where is that?
It's right here. So try below
Move the mouse a little bit more. I can't see it. Oh, right there. Okay, tanker. Yeah, 000. Okay.
So just go through this. This is pretty straightforward. There's different... In that sim brief, there's all these different formats you can do.
Lido or airline specific.
They all have the same information on it. It's just presented somewhere different. So here, this is the fuel required to fly en route. It's 6,900 pounds. Dispatch has flown in this case, an extra 15 minutes of contingency fuel. That's just, just kind of any, it just depends. Dispatch add, this is usually airport dependent. So a lot of places, if you go into an airport that has lots of known delays, they may put dispatch add in there just because they know historically LaGuardia, Charlotte's a great example. Charlotte, it doesn't matter how busy the place is. If you're taking off the west runway or the east runway, you've got a 25-minute taxi. So they may throw an extra 25 minutes of taxi fuel right in here just for known or anticipated delays and stuff. Alternate's just what it says. If you have an alternate, in this case, they've got PRC. You can see here it takes 3,100 pounds. So I kind of messed that up today. What I should have had is 8,100 pound on my reserve in the FMC. Although to be honest, with the weather we have today, you don't really need the alternate because it's clearing a million. So you're min for takeoff. When I sit there and I take the active runway and I add takeoff thrust, this is the absolute min fuel I'm allowed to have legally.
Okay.
Is 18.9 based on this flight plan. What's driving it so high is this alternate.
So we were about 1,000 below
but
legal.
We technically don't need the alternate.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of surprised this thing gave an alternate because the weather's really nice and stuff.
I think it always gives an alternate, doesn't it?
There's a lot of times. If the weather's better than 2003, we generally don't have an alternate.
Oh. Okay.
Unless you're flying overseas. If you fly ICAO, then you're required to have an alternate.
Oh, okay.
So no, if the weather's better than 2003, a lot of times we won't have an alternate.
Backing up just here, just 1 second. Mind giving a... Okay, yeah. Go over... After this, we'll go over cabin pressure readings for RAV.
How do I move
and
this
then
back?
Turbinator says, what is the typical SOP minimum pounds on fuel on landing?
Okay, so this would be the minimum. I can use this. It's right here. See this FAR reserve?
So that
Actually, not FAR reserve. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is wrong. This FAR reserve should only be about 3,600 pounds. Your SOP minimum, or your FAA minimum on landing is landing with 45 minutes of...
And see right there, it's telling you it's an hour 30.
Yes, this isn't right.
They're a little higher.
So this number in real life is anywhere, depends on the temperature, the altitude stuff. This number is anywhere from 36 to 3,800 pounds. That's the absolute minimum that I'm legal to land under FAA.
Okay.
But I would never, ever accept that. So the absolute minimum turbinator, that number is not specified. But for dispatch, the absolute minimum that dispatch is ever going to plan here for this planned arrival fuel The lowest I think I've ever seen is maybe 5.2, 5,200 pounds. And my personal minimum is I like to have it be 600 or 6,000.
Okay.
That gives me options. If I drop a gear and it doesn't come down, that gives me time to sit there and run through the checklist. With 5,000 pounds in this thing, by the time I go missed approach and come back around, I'm at min fuel, which is 4,000 pounds by definition. 4,000 pounds in the 7.3 is your min fuel. Now that's an hour fuel burn, but just think, that's an hour fuel burn flying at holding speeds, long range cruise. That's not dropping flaps. That's not dropping gear troubleshooting. So I like to have 6,000 pounds. That's me personally. That's off schedule descent. You pick another pilot, they may want something less.